My name is Linden Crumrine. I'm 23 years old. I play bass in a band called Salon. I started out on percussion. It was just like a little pad that you just kind of hit with a stick. But that sucked. That was terrible. And then I picked up saxophone and played saxophone poorly until about 6th grade. And there was a huge upright bass in the band room, and it was humongous. So I totally wanted to play it. And the band didn't have a bass player. The band director at the time started teaching me how to play it, and I had to like stand on books to like be high enough to like actually be able to play it. Then I got an electric bass in like 7th grade, maybe 8th grade. There's 2 guys that I jam with. So we play the talent show every year. We were in a band called the Linden Sparrows, which was really just us covering songs and then like playing at like a talent show. By 9th grade, I stopped taking lessons and I started to enjoy playing it a lot more just because I didn't have to practice for anybody or do anything. I knew I wasn't the best student in school. Currently attending Berklee College of Music here in Boston, and I've been going for the past 3.5 years. This is my final semester. Growing up, my parents always put on a bunch of the Beatles, Led Zeppelin. My dad was a huge Alanis Morissette fan, which I don't want to admit that I am, but I do really like her music a lot. But yeah, just classic rock, Pink Floyd too. Just a lot of classic rock, pretty much growing up through elementary school, middle school. In middle school, I did go through a bit of a metal phase. Just before going to Berklee, I was kind of getting into a lot of solo bass players, or rather just really famous bass players. Have this class called ACI, Artistry, Creativity, and Inquiry. So right at the beginning of the first semester, we all got assigned into this homeroom, and everybody in the band was just in that homeroom. So we became friends pretty instantly. But the band, it must have been maybe 2nd semester. So we were hanging out for a while, and we jammed a couple times, and I guess we just decided that it made sense to make a band. There's 3 guitar players and also vocalists, and they also write all their own songs. I play bass. We have James, all the way from Sweden, actually Malmö, Sweden. He plays drums. Well, there's Zach and Thomas, who actually went to high school together in Austin, Texas, and then both of them just got into Berklee. Their writing styles are a little bit different. Now, Zach definitely is more of the, he's very indie rock, kind of more high energy, party kind of songs. Thomas's writing style is definitely a bit different. They're very popular. One song in particular called Carried Away, where you'll see, if you listen to it, you'll understand why Thomas isn't the greatest singer, but uses that to his advantage, where it's more, rather than singing, it's more like, oh baby, yeah, he just kind of says words and does funny lyrics kind of thing. And then there's Jack O'Brien, aka Jacques LeDubes. Dubes is from Tracy, California. Excellent songwriter. I mean, I think he's been writing songs for most of his life. Definitely more of a singer-songwriter type of thing. He writes a lot of acoustic stuff. But yeah, a bit more folky, I would say. They sometimes go off trail as far as the standard songwriting process. There might be certain parts of the song that you wouldn't normally see typically in a song, which I think is really cool. Makes it super unique. and that's what's awesome about having these three guys. Yeah, and that's how we formed. Just started playing some of the songs that the three vocalists and guitar players wrote when they were in high school or prior to coming to Berkeley. It turned out it was enough to at least play a show, maybe like 9 or 10 songs. Just about to release our first EP, 4-track album. Pretty excited about that. Just got a few things to record, a little bit of vocals to do, and it should be out. We all go to school in Back Bay, which is where Berkeley's at, but we all live in Allston, which is kind of like the college town, grimy kind of, you know, just a bunch of college kids live here basically. And particularly on the street that we're at right now, Pratt Street, there's just a bunch of house shows everywhere. Playing around Allston, like especially around here, it's pretty crazy. It's actually a really fun time. There's obviously only college kids around here, so there's never short of, you know, just a bunch of drunk kids coming to your show. And usually the shows start around, the earlier ones maybe 8 o'clock, and it's, you know, it's fine, it's fun, but if you start getting the later sets, maybe around 10, 11, 12, it's always a shit show. Yeah, I'd say like the last show that we had, I'll be honest, we were all a little bit drunk too. A couple of guys jumped up on stage and started cheering and singing. You know, I had no idea who these guys were. Honestly, I think they just went to the wrong party and then were just having a great time. So they just got up and were sharing Hennessy with everybody. It's always exciting playing around Allston. I think either LA, Seattle, Denver, just somewhere more out west. I feel like they would appreciate the style of music a bit more. Whether or not we're actually gonna, you know, are we good enough to make it? I think the songs are good. We do need to, if we want to make it, we gotta have a strict practice regimen. You know, there are other things I like to do musically. I'd like to be working as a studio musician. Wherever we end up moving. And it'd be nice to be playing a couple other groups. I do love the funk, neo-soul, kind of groovy stuff. It'd be really sweet to be playing in something like that. Of course, Salon is numero uno. I do have the most fun playing the music with those guys. But it'd be nice to widen the horizons a little bit and just be playing out a lot more. Pleasure talking with you guys. Thanks very much. I'll catch you later.